progress, and also build critical infrastructures such as biobanks for infectious disease samples and databases that will enable us to better link infectious disease data with other kind of data that will help us to perhaps enhance contact tracing. So this is a program that will also help us to better translate basic research to innovations and meaningful outcomes to help us better respond and also prepare for the next outbreak. And on the front of diagnostics, vaccines and therapeutics, we will be looking to really focus on developing platform technologies. Technologies that would be disease agnostic. Well, today it could be a coronavirus, tomorrow it could be a flavivirus like dengue or influenza virus. So we do want, like how I think Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech have developed an mRNA platform that's able to really be agnostic. I think we'll look into doing that. So, and also lastly, I think this program will also look into developing a regional network to really facilitate the sort of the circulation of infectious disease expertise across the region, so that this regional network could actually enhance our intelligence, our sense making during peacetime. And ultimately, later on, I think when it's wartime, I think when the next outbreak comes, we'll be able to better respond as a region, and whether it's in exchanging intelligence, information, samples, and hopefully then that will help us be able to address the next outbreak or pandemic. I guess I've spoken enough. I will end here, and I think my colleague Yiling will flash some questions. Yiling, could you flash the questions that I think my colleague has prepared to sort of aid these roundtable discussions? I think basically we have two questions, I think, for this roundtable. I think first would be, which are your country's interests within this field of R&D in pandemic preparedness and response? And which of them could be potential topics of collaborations? And secondly, which institutions or universities in your country are leading in capabilities in this field and could potentially participate in potential international partnerships? So I'll end here, and I guess I'll open the floor for questions, inputs, comments. Perhaps maybe if you'd like to speak, you could, either enter +1 in the chat function or raise hand. Lisa?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, it's Liza Noonan from the Australian High Commission. So yeah, thank you for that overview. It was really interesting. I think from Australia's perspective, some of the points you raised there around the modelling of outbreaks and as I think you're saying, in peacetime, sort of preparing ourselves for future outbreaks and how we cooperate as a region in terms of early signals of potential outbreaks, and then sort of preparedness strategies. That's certainly an area which Australia has interested in terms of international collaboration. So yeah, I'd flag that one. And certainly organisations like the CSIRO, and some of the universities such as University of Queensland, Monash, Swinburne University are certainly interested, and we've had discussions with collectively around opportunities for international collaboration. So certainly look forward to following up on that point.
Sure, thanks, Lisa. We'll definitely register this and actually make sure that we convey this to the MOH team when they're all set up and ready to actually look for potential partnerships and collaboration in the region. Anthony?
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Vincent. Thank you very much for your introduction. I'm from the French Embassy, so definitely France is very much interested in your initiative. You may know that we have already set up actually what we call a bilateral group about infectious diseases involving your colleague from NCID and different institutions here in Singapore, and on the French side, all the French research organizations who could be involved, like INSERM, which is the National Research Organization on Health, Pasteur Institute, but also CNRS and other. We took this initiative last year, of course, during the pandemic, and we started, of course, through a video conference so far, exchange of experience, ideas, and of course we have already identified a lot of topics that we could further develop. And as you know, in the region, France is pretty active and well established through mainly the network of Pasteur Institutes, which have in the couple of countries, ASEAN region, but even beyond, because in the last let's say 15 to 20 years, we also established a Pasteur Institute, first in Hong Kong and then in Shanghai, and also in South Korea. So definitely France is very much interested in participating to your initiative and to continue to to develop existing cooperation and new cooperation as well. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Anthony. I've added my email address in the chat function. So Anthony, Lisa, do please email me so that I think we can continue this conversation.
Thanks, Vincent. I'd really appreciate that.
Is there anybody else who would like to provide your comments or to raise any ideas? Jade?
Hi, Vincent. Jade here from the British High Commission in Singapore. Thanks very much for that really helpful presentation and overview of the PREPARE programme. I think you know that we have very strong links between the UK and Singapore in the infectious diseases area. On modelling, I know that this is an area that we would continue to want to collaborate in. I know there are already strong links between the London School of Health and Tropical Medicine and as well as Imperial with NUS. On the infrastructure side, I also wanted to mention that in Southeast Asia, we have a number of research centres focusing on infectious diseases. So OCRU and MORO, led by the University of Oxford. So they do a lot of work around surveillance as well and capacity building. And I think we would be keen to kind of look at this from a regional level. On DVTs, obviously a lot of expertise on the UK side. We would be keen to see how we can strengthen those links, especially from the Oxford and Imperial side, as well as how we can work through the ACT accelerator as a way to really help to work together on a global level. In terms of other areas that the UK is really keen to work together on globally, is developing global zoonotic research hubs, the vaccines, therapeutics and diagnostics piece, as well as also looking at developing global early warning systems for emerging pandemics and outbreaks. So I think those are some of the key areas, but I'd also like to hear whether you have any insights on how we would be able to collaborate through the Prepare program. So whether there would be potential for international bilateral or multilateral research programs around pandemic preparedness.
Thanks, Jade. I think there will be a large component of the Prepare program that will be set up for, I think, regional collaborations. I think that the initial focus and priority will be in the regions. So I guess because, I mean, that's how, I guess, the bugs spread through. I think whenever there's outbreak, I think so that early surveillance will be important. But I do agree with the point on international surveillance, because I think we all don't know where the next bugs or the next virus or pathogens will arise or in any parts of the world, and therefore international collaboration will be key to here. So I think whether is it through Prepare or through basically any sort of bilateral I think international collaboration or partnerships, I think this could be an area that we can definitely consider, and likely this will also be whether is it the government's or funding agencies' priorities in the years ahead, given the impact of COVID. So certainly we can definitely explore that. I think as we discussed, I think separately about potential collaborations with UK partners.
Thanks.
I see. Thanks, Jade. I see Olivia.
Yes, hi, Vincent. Olivia from the High Commission of Canada. I just wanted to also echo that. I mean, there has been lots of work that has been done in Canada, especially post-COVID. A lot of research collaboration that they were looking at, but I guess, I mean, the whole world, we were a bit in a scramble, I guess, at that period in time. But definitely we have interest in I mean, there are a number of research centers in Canada and the universities that are working hard on this. In fact, there are a number of, a lot of startups that came to light and that actually serviced even, I think, Singapore. One was called Blue Dot, that was a solution that not prevented, but that would give heads up on any such pandemics that are coming up. So yeah, I just wanted to iterate that Canada is definitely keen on further collaboration and research together.
Thanks, Olivia. I have next Barbara.
Thank you, Vincent. I'm just going into a small part of the office where I won't disturb anyone. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'm from the Netherlands, and yeah, we're mainly strong in water, in everything related to water. And so for the during the pandemic, researchers quite early on developed a system for detection of coronavirus in sewage. So related also what Jade said about early warning systems. So I was wondering if that would be, yeah, it's a bit maybe outside of the medical scope, but if that would also be something to consider within the Prepare program. That would be my first question. And then another is just a comment that I would also be interested in hearing more about the other topics, maybe after everyone has gotten the chance to comment and ask questions about the other topics within the human health and health and human potential pillar as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Barbara. I think in terms of in the broader sense, surveillance, whether is it through sewage or even through the air, I think definitely there'll be interest. I think environmental sensing will be a key area to really understand, how pathogens, spread. I think that would be a critical area. I think before this pandemic, I recall, Prof. Tan Chuan mentioning that You know, he didn't think that bioaerosol would be a sexy field to be in, or should it be an important field to be in. But when this pandemic hit, and various governments and parties was trying to figure out how this virus spread, and suddenly, you know, bioaerosol's expertise was much sought after. And luckily in Singapore, we have a few experts in this area. And so I think definitely, I think environmental sensing, you know, surveillance will be an important area in in prepare. And yes, I would also be happy to answer questions beyond prepare, beyond pandemic preparedness, for the larger human health and potential plans. I think can take, my DYCU has mentioned a bit about that when he presented the update, or as if from what I've read from the media or from our comms handbook. Yeah, so I guess just do one last round of check if there's anybody has any more sort of questions, comments, input on R&D on pandemic preparedness and response. If not, I think as what I think Barbara requested, I mean, we could move on to the larger topic on human health and potential. If anyone is interested to actually post some more questions, and I could help to address them. Thanks, Lisa. See you. Any questions about human health potential domain? Anyone? I think Barbara. Yeah, Barbara.
Thank you. Yeah, just in general, actually, I was wondering, because health is for us going to be a focus area for this year and the coming years. So I was just wondering about what areas have you defined as new topics within this pillar? Perhaps areas such as digitalization in healthcare. What kind of opportunities for collaboration do you see there? Another one is medical technology, genomics, and precision medicine. So there were a few areas that came up where I just wanted to hear your view on it. What Singapore's outlook is on international collaboration in these fields, or if there have emerged new areas within healthcare that are going to be your major focus.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. I would say in 2025, we will continue to build on our past 2 decades of investments in health and biomedical sciences. So basically, I think in the health realm, we'll definitely would like to sort of basically further build on the successes we have, I think in the area of precision medicine, we have the National Precision Medicine Program, which we will continue to invest. And basically, it will come further full streams over the next 3 to 4 years. I think earlier, there'll be, you probably see some news report about the 10,000 cohort, the 10,000 size cohort that will sequence. I think we're going to build further on that, sequence more of our population in order to populate our database. And I think, so as basically the point is to really build up this precision medicine database that we can interrogate, study, and glean further insights. And really, I guess, really realize the true potential of precision medicine. And not just in terms of whether is it building a sort of adjacent genomics industry by bringing the relevant companies that offer the genomic solutions, but also to think about actually, targeted therapy, more stratified sort of medicines in terms of delivery of healthcare. And I think that the holy grail is actually to really go further upstream to prevent disease from even occurring in the first place. I think that will be also a key focus. I think how can we use the insights we glean from precision medicine, from sequencing our populations, to really look at what are the susceptibility in terms of genomes, epigenetics, and so on, to really see how we can actually use the insights to really prevent disease from even onset, right? And that, I think, would be really an impactful outcome that we hope to achieve, right? Because I think that ultimately will be able to help us to achieve the health outcomes that we would like to achieve. So I think one new area that I guess I can speak more about is human potential. It really, I think, built on the foundation of good health, I think, first and foremost. But beyond good health, I think we also realize that, I think, given the small size of our population, we want to advance, the human potential of our population. And I think we truly do this in 3 key areas. First is early childhood. I think we want to give our young the best start in their life. So learning how sort of preconception, pregnancy could affect early childhood health, will be important. And also how, in terms of early childhood, in terms of nutrition, the environment could affect the developmental outcomes. I think that will also be an important area for us to study, because ultimately then that affect the later on lives, whereas as our young enter adolescence and into adulthood. So that is one area, an important focus for us in human potential. And then secondly, science of learning, where we do really want to see how we can sort of enhance the learning experience of our students and also our adults. Because I think this is the era of lifelong learning. I think we don't just go to school and then stop learning after we graduate, and we continue to pick up skills and change jobs and careers over our lifetime, given the longer lifespans. To enable learning to be better enhanced will be a key focus as well under the science of learning pillar in human potential. And lastly, given our longer lifespan, we do want to make sure that we can enhance our health span as well, so that I think in terms of our golden years, we can live better life, more meaningful life as well, and being able to contribute and also have a more meaningful, basically, golden years. So that sort of summarizes some of our focus areas in RI 2025. Hopefully that answers your questions, Barbara. And welcome to you to email me if you have more. Can I check if there's any other questions from this group? Okay, I think, I guess I don't see any activity coming up. So I guess if no more questions, I think I've left my email address in the chat function. So feel free to email me if you have any more questions or ideas that you like to discuss. If not, I thank you for being part of this round group discussions. And I wish you all good health and stay safe as we emerge from this pandemic. Thank you. And bye.